decentralized supply chains. So before I go to this particular subject, I'll show a particular local edge case. So here, in case of your power distribution, particularly in the previous class, we have discussed that how Tata has occupied your distributions for a utility as well as for electric. But in case of for sustainable energy, they are also focused in case of centralized manner. If you go to the first part, this is the past. Basically, some power plant are directly go for transmission network, and after that for industries, for domestic purpose, and as well as they are also focused on commercial and factory also. But if you go to the sustainable renewable energy, in case of solar, in case of battery, in case of tidal energy, in case of wind power, these are directly go for domestics, commercials, factory, or household. In the you can say it is centralized manner that if anybody which want to consume this type of energy, they directly go for either solar, battery, renewable, tidal energy, which is clean and local power transmission by the help of centralized power distribution or centralized transmission networks. Moving to the next part, we have already discussed the centralized versus decentralized basic difference. I just show this particular slide and never go to read all the things. The next part is that centralized and decentralized supply chain coordination and alignment in case of business activities. So if you focus on point number one, basically centralized and decentralized supply chain are directly concerned with decision making, whether it should be supply chain network, and that can be performed centrally or decentralized way. So if you go to the next part, in case of centralized structure, there exists a central authority which is responsible for making decision. Or whereas in case of decentralized structure, the individual entities, as it shows in case of your previous slide, especially reference to renewable energy, that individual entities refer to your solar energy or battery or your wind energy or tidal energy, they make their own decision whether they provide for domestic or whether they go for factory in case of powered transmission network. Moving to the next part, in case of no supply chain, can be completely centralized or decentralized. Both approaches have their own advantages and disadvantages. The most commonly strategic decisions are usually made centrally, while operation decisions are made decentrally. This is the most important thing. So whenever you go for strategic decisions, if you take the subject like operation strategy, in that case, most of the decisions are made that is centrally, or in case of most of the decisions are made decentralized. It is the beneficial to adopt centralized control and propose mechanism to coordinate decentralized system so that each player in the chain can be benefited. As I told, in case of supply chain, that is the composition of four number of chains. First one is your product, infrastructure, then carrier, the next part is your route. So if you go for both approaches, as well as your centralized or decentralized approaches, these chains, starting from your product, then facilities, or in case of your carrier, or in case of your route, every player or every composition in case of making the supply chain link or supply chain that should be get benefited from the coordinations of or in case of aligning business activities. So moving to the next part. So if you go to point number one, as far as concerned from strictly cost perspective, the centralized or decentralized of all the function do not result the lowest cost supply chains. So if you implement both the approach, costs are typically going to higher, the customer service is going to decrease. If you go for centralized location, if you establish your organization or your factory or your manufacturing unit in centralized location with special reference to remote area, in that case, automatically your cost of transportation will be increased and customer service is decreased day by day due to number of frequent flight or carrier from plant to your distribution point. The next part is that in decentralized structure, raw material operation costs are typically going higher because, as you know, in case of your strategy decision are placed centrally, but most of the operation are carry out in case of decentral well. So that is in case of making a particular consumption of or a volume of raw material for the manufacturing units, and the operation cost in case of decentralized very much higher side because redundancy of staffings as well as lower buying power among the commodities. So what is the redundancy in case of staffings? It is difficult to go for human resource or manpower to arrange in that particular location because the decision is to play in case of centrally, but the thing is in case of operation from one organization to another organization is vary, and in that case the manpower the skill of highly skilled people availability is very much low in that case of whenever you go for huge amount of raw material equipments tool and spare parts also. Moving to the next part, the next part is that a hybrid strategy basically used in case of aligning business activities, whether it should be decentralized or centralized. This hybrid strategy is basically used in case of maintain a particular balance between both centralized and decentralized for the organization or inside the organization, or you can say it is within the organizations. By centralized strategy, functions such as sourcing, long-term capacities, and in case of decentralized operation functions such as order fulfillment, shipment handling, global supply chain can be maximized customer requirement while lowering the total supply chain cost as percentage of sales. So that is why whenever you collaborate with centralized and decentralized, some strategic decision or some hybrid strategy should be implemented to maintain the balance between centralized and decentralized system in case of aligning your supply chain and as well as for your business activities. That is the most important thing is lower the cost of supply chain management and increase the percentage of sale. That is the basic concept behind aligning your central and your business activities. Moving to the next topics, today we are discuss about demand forecasting. The next topic is demand forecasting and management. So what is the need of demand forecasting? Anyone? We have already gone this particular topic in case of your operation management. Anyone? Yes. What is the need of demand forecasting?
Plan for the future, cost control.
Okay, one is cost control and next one is anyone? Correct, that was already written in the slide. So if you go to demand forecasting, is predicting the future demand for product and service for an organization. I repeat, demand forecasting is the prediction of for the future demand. So basically, the demand information is provided by customers to the organizations. Moving to the next part, demand forecasting is a combination of two words. First one is demand, another is forecasting. So in case of demand means that is outside requirement of a product or services. Basically, the demand is provided by customer point of view. But in case of forecasting, that is estimation or calculation in advance. So if you combine those things, the form is known as that is demand forecasting. The next part is that in case of management is a technique for estimation and probable demand for a particular product and service for the or in the upcoming futures. And it is based on the analysis of past demand for that product or service in the present market conditions. So as you know, most of the companies are nowadays called profit making organizations. So for profit making, you have to go for estimating in advance of your demands, or how to predict the future demand, or how much demand will be occurs. You have to maintain that particular or maintain a balance between demand and supplies. So this is the basic objective of demand forecasting. Moving to the next part, just a minute. Why the demand forecasting is needed and what is the basic need of demand forecasting? First one, it helps to decide the facility capacity planning and capital budgeting. So in case of facility capacity planning, which include your man, machine, material, resources, infrastructure, transportation, supply chain, logistics, all the things. In case of capital, that means how much capital you have to go for budgeting activities for the organizations. The next part is to help evaluate market opportunity worthy for the future investments. So as I told, the particular demand forecasting is basically estimate and calculate in advance for particular demand. So in this way, you can easily check the different opportunities in case of market. The next point, to help access in markets share among the other competitors. So in case of demand forecasting, is basically enhance your sustainabilities in case of market among other competitors. Next is it's sought to input to aggregate production planning. As you know, aggregate production planning is implemented for an intermediate range of production planning. That should be range from 2 to 18 months or 6 to 18 months. And the next part is material requirement plannings. The next is last point, to plan for the organization inputs like manpower, fund, financings, and setting policy and procedures for your for increase the demand or to fulfill the demand. Basically, we need demand forecastings. Moving to the next part, the significance of demand forecastings. So these are the basic significance. First one is fulfilling the objective of business as far as concerned with your demand for management. The next is preparing the budget. The next is taking management decisions. The last one is evaluating performance. These are basically included in case of demand forecasting. Moving to the next part, the next one is the types of forecasting. So basically the types of forecasting is divided into two types. The first one is based on economic and based on time period. We will discuss one by one. In case of based on economy, we have three level of forecastings. One is macro level forecastings, another is industry level forecastings, and the last is farm level forecastings. So if you go to the first one, in case of macro level forecastings, it deals with general economics environment related to economy as measured by the index of industrial productions, that is known as IIP, and national income and general level of employment. So what is the industrial production index of state of Odisha? What is the rank? Anyone? Okay, forget about index of industrial productions. You just tell the rank of state of Odisha in case of national income. What is the rank of state of Odisha? Anyone? Yes. Which state has higher national income index? Which state has higher national index? Sorry, national income index. Anyone? See this, if you are not interacting in this particular session, and I'm just delivering the notes and presenting the slides, at the end we are telling that we are not understand the concept of supply chain management.
Sir, may I?
Yes, yes.
Sir, Goa?
That is not Goa. That is Maharashtra has highest national income index.
Sorry, sir.
Okay. So don't be sorry. You have to know about that things. The next part is in case of general level employment. These are basically focused in case of your general economic environment, which is under macro level forecastings. If you check the employment index in case of state like Maharashtra, state like Gujarat, state like Kerala, these are very much higher side as compared to our state. And it depends upon the national income strategy as well as the index of industrial production strategies. Just imagine we are still the bigger production. You can say we are the biggest producer of steel across India. But the thing is that the level of employment is very poor in our state. So these things should be directly forecast in the macro levels. The next part is that in case of industry level forecasting deals with demand for industry product as whole. For example, demand for cement in India, demand for cloth in India. So as you know, this Indian budget has directly focused on infrastructures. They also focus on your employabilities in case of Atmanirbhar of India. So these things directly enhance the different, you can say that is directly or indirectly involved or directly, indirectly associated companies with infrastructure as well as employabilities. So that is why Government of India has implemented Skill India concept to increase the rate of or level of employment. Next one is farm level forecasting. It means forecasting the demand for a particular farm product. For example, demand of Birla cement, demand of Raymond cloth, demand of your Aditya Birla segment are basically considered in the farm level forecasting. So these are basically based on your economies. First one is macro level forecastings, then industry level forecastings, then farm level forecastings. Moving to the next part, that is based on time period. In case of based on time period, we have two type of forecasting. One is short-term forecasting and another is long-term forecastings. So basically, in case of short-term forecasting, it covers short period of time depending upon the nature of industries. It is done generally 6 months or less than 1 year. So basically, short-term forecasting are generally useful in case of tactical decisions, especially reference to operation strategy. Moving to the next part, long-term forecasting. So the long-term forecasting are for longer time period. That is maximum 2 to 5 years or more than that. It gives information for major strategic decision for the farm or of the farm. For example, expansion of plant capacities, opening a new unit of business. These are under long-term forecastings. Then moving to the next part, is it clear to all? I think.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Moving to next part. The next one is your demand forecast. Yes.
Forecasting come under micro forecasting.
Which one?
Small for that farm level forecasting.
Farm level forecasting is under your, that is known as
That
based on economics
small
actually.
enterprises forecasting.
Okay, okay. These are also, but the thing is that you have to define the demand forecasting in two ways. Another one is your based on economic and another is based on time period. So in case of based on economy, we have macro level forecastings, industry level forecasting, and farm level forecastings. But in case of based on time period, the short-term forecasting is there for a particular industry, and in case of long-term industry for expansion of industry or establishment of new organizations. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The next one is in case of demand forecasting method. So in case of demand forecasting, we have two type of method. One is quantitative method, that is known as time series method. Another is qualitative method, that is known as judgmental method. In today's class, we are discuss about qualitative method, referred to your judgmental method. We'll discuss one by one. So first, in case of quantitative method, especially reference to time series method, we have first one is Navy approach. The second one is moving average method, and the third one is exponential smoothing methods. So these are basically numericals to calculate the or estimate the various type of demand in case in advance. So in case of Navy approach, basically what happens, the past data should be considered in case of, or past sales should be considered in case of present sale. For example, in case of month of December, the sale is 100 piece. That means in case of Navy approach, the forecasting data is also for the month of January that also equal to 100. Moving to the next part, that is next method, that is known as moving average method. In that moving average method, we have two type of method, that is known as simple moving average method, and another is weighted moving average method. So in case of simple moving average method, suppose in that particular problem statement, they have go for 3-month moving average method, or 5-month moving average method, or 6-month moving average method. That means you directly go to the previous or last 3-month data, divide by 3, that equals to, you can calculate the average, and that average answer should be considered as the simple moving average of your time series method, or you can say it is the forecast demand for the next month. Suppose you are calculating for the month of January. That means in the form of 3-month moving simple moving average method. Calculation of for the month of January, that means you have to choose last previous 3 months, that is December, November and October month sales. Suppose in case of sales of October is 30 and sales of November is 30, again the sales of your December is also 30. If I calculate by the help of simple moving average method, or in case of 3-month simple moving average method, that means for the month of October we have 30, for the month of November we have 30, and for the month of December, that is 30 divided by 3, that equals to how much? That is 30 for the month of January. And moving to the next part, in case of weighted moving average method, we have calculated based on some weighted or some parameters given to your forecastings. Then in case of exponential smoothing method, these are very much, you can say, very little bit complex method to calculate different aspect of business activities. We will discuss, or we will going to solve some numerical based upon your moving average method with reference to your simple moving average method and weighted moving average method, or the last one is exponential smoothing method in the upcoming classes. But in today classes, we are directly focused on qualitative method, or we can say that is directly reference to your judgmental methods. So in case of judgmental method, first, if you go to the point number 1, it basically, or this type of method is basically incorporate based on the judgment and opinion and subjective probability estimates. Point number 2, judgmental method forecasting is used in cases where there is lack of historical data and during completely new and unique market condition. I will show a particular case study how the DS group has implemented a particular candy, and after 3 months the company is increased a higher amount of revenue, that is around 60 to 70 crore rupees in a single month, and they will also beat the candy market across India. And it is happened due to this judgmental method by this particular group. So basically, judgmental method include Delphi method, market survey, and historical analysis. So these are typically theory methods, but in case of your quantitative method, they are depends upon some numerical, or that should be calculated by some formula is there, and you have to directly put the previous year data and calculate the value of demand forecasting. So moving to the first one, in case of Delphi method, I will show that particular slide. The Delphi method defined as an organization, or it is otherwise known as organized method for collecting views and information pertaining to specific area. Suppose during your SIP, your institute will assign to different number of companies. Suppose Sangram is going to ITC and Subham is going to cement industries. In that way, you have to directly collect various type of data. For example, in case of gender equalities, for example, in case of age factor, for example, in case of education, for example, in case of incomes, you have to directly collect various type of data related to your industries. The next is a method that allows dialogue between the geographical separated expert while serving an effective mean for learning. So that is why most of the method that are dialogue between some separated expert from different geographical location. Suppose you are collected a huge amount of data against your JK papers. That means you have to ask some other expert who were localized in different geographical locations. In that case, you can directly ask a particular expert from Kolkata. You can directly ask, or you can deliver some dialogue between this particular expert for learning purpose with respect to your Delphi method. The next part is gathering a group of experts to forecast event and access complex issues. So whenever you consult with a particular expert regarding forecasting event, what is the past scenario of that particular organization, what is the sales volume of the past year, what is the financial report, whether the company is financially stable. That expert would access you regarding some complex issues. Suppose during COVID-19 situation, most of the companies, especially reference to textile industries, especially reference to your transportation industry, they were facing so many type of problems, and that complex issue should be accessed from the expert from expert side to your side for learning purpose. The next part is that collective human intelligence, and the last one is a process of exploring, accessing, and evaluating the collective view of specific areas regarding your product, regarding your company, that is known as Delphi methods. So how the Delphi method is basically used? First one is you have to define your problem, give everyone the problem, collect the response from different respondents, give everyone the collection. If you find the appropriate answer from the expert who are separated geographically or who are access their knowledge regarding different type of problem, if you are not able to find any kind of suitable solution, then repeat these steps, starting from the problem define, then again give everyone the problem, then collect the response, again give everyone to the collections. In this way, the Delphi method should be implemented to identify different issues of business activities. Moving to the next part, so basically, group decision makings are based upon Delphi method. First, ensure everyone involved, whether it should be top level of management, whether it should be bottom level of management or middle level of management, and the information should be shared in between each level of management. They can express their honest opinion without fear and repercussion, and by using the system of anonymity. In case of system of anonymity, this means you are share the information, you can express your expressions to your senior authority as well as your subordinate. That is the concept of group decision making. The next part is that in case of Delphi methods, these are the basic steps. Step number one, I just enlarge this one, just a minute. In case of Delphi methods practical step, the step number one is assign a process committee or a management team. Step number two, set up expert panels to prepare and formulate statement. Step number three, plan the whole process, practical details. That means that include how do the expert panel meet, what format and by what means the questionnaire delivers, and how do you plan to analyze the answer. The next part is how do you plan to present the feedback of the previous round, and the last one, will there be presentation and follow-up workshop between the rounds. Then after getting that, you directly go to step number 4, decide the field of Delphi or where you can find any kind of complexity in case of your business activities. That should be properly defined. Then choose question design, whether should be mock questions or whether should be time estimated questions or whether the question with specific answer or it is a open-ended sessions. Then final step is follow up the step in case of basic Delphi methods. That means if you not find, then again you just repeat that all the steps. So in this step, as you know, this particular Delphi method is basically used to collect the various data as far as concerned with the past history of company as well as in case of uh, past sales data, past financial statements, and if you launch a new product in the market, these are very much important when they are focused in a particular geographical locations. So just imagine there is a company that is known as DS Group. What is the full form of DS Group? Anyone? What is the full form of DS Group? कौन सा ब्रांड है DS Group का? Anyone?
Dharampal Satyapal Group.
Okay. So what are the brand under DS Group?
Don't know the brand, but some product are known like Pass Pass and
Exactly, that is Pass Pass. Okay. So here I just quickly go through this particular case studies, and that is Dharampal Satpal Group, rapidly growing, multi-diversified, that is conglomerated with presence in case of diverse industry sectors. It was founded in the year 1929. So before independence, the company was established, and initially they are focused on tobacco only. Clear? That is handmade tobacco, but later they will diversify their product portfolio, which includes spices and beverage, confectionery, dairies, mouth freshener, hospitality, tobacco, packaging, and agroforestry. So he is the founder of this particular group. The first person belong to Dharampal Sugandhi, and second is Satpal Sugandhi. Okay, these people are basically associated with this group, and this is the Delhi office, or you can say it is located near Noida. The DS group is very much famous for its brand. It is known as Rajnigandha. In case of tobacco-related products, so they have premium segment, specially reference to Rajnigandha and Pass Pass. The next is they have the confectionery, then food and beverage, dairy industry. They have hospitality, they have agri product, and they are also diversify its business toward packaging industries. Then moving to the next part, here the famous brand that is Rajnigandha. So what is the tagline of Rajnigandha? The highest selling premium segment of gutka or tobacco, you can say. Hello, what is the tagline of Rajnigandha? Anyone? Hello. Yes, anyone?
Don't know, sir.
अरे ऐसे नहीं चलेगा. Don't.
मैं
Yes,
मुंह में रजनीगंधा कदमों में दुनिया.
exactly. But recently they have a change. यूही में रजनीगंधा नहीं बन जाता. Exactly. You have already gone through this particular ad. This is the highest selling tobacco or premium segment of tobacco as far as concerned with DS group. Okay, so we are focused on Delphi method, and if you go to the other product, they have the cage salt and spices. The next part, in case of food and beverage, they have bottling your ponjo, fruity, maja, mango, and even in case of paperboard, they are providing the packaging facilities in this particular brand. Then, if you move to the next part, they have won various type of award since 1948 to till date. Clear? I will show those slide. I will share the slide that you will definitely go to each and every slide. The next part is that the company previously found that there is no particular candy industry across India. Clear? And there may be 4 to 5 number of competitors available in case of Pulse Candy. So here the
Yes, sir.
Pulse Candy, the success story. So as you know, the mango is the national fruits of India, and this taste of mangoes it is easily acceptable by any region of India. Clear. And the thing is that whenever they focus on new product launch in the market, through from the market, they want to search the market, they want to analyze the market and go for demand forecasting of their new product in the market. So initially they found that by the help of Delphi method, there are so many number of competitors there, starting from apple levels, then kacha mango bite is there, then tangy mango is there, then swad imli is there, swad lemon is there, and jumpers is there. These are the most of the competitors across versus your pulse candy. They find that the price of apple nibble is 1 rupees. In case of kacha mango, the price is from Parle Industries. The price is range between 50 paisa to 1 rupees. But the thing is, in case of if you increase the price of pulse candy up to 2 rupees or maybe more than that, it is difficult to compete difficult to sustain the market first one, and difficult to compete the more amount of competitors. So initially, what they did, initially they are focused on I will show that one. If you go to the candy sauce, how the pulse go, it writes how tangy innovation is made breakthrough in the stagnant candy category and clock around 150 crore in the first year of launch. a mere drop when the seen against the approximately they have directly crossed 7,700 crore rupees that the group clocked around in the year in the financial year of 2016. But significantly consider the time frame and the fact that it came from the hard boiled candy price at the rupees 1 rupees. It is difficult to reduce the price of this pulse candy in between 1 rupees. That is the most important challenging part as far as concerned with this Delphi method point of view. So basically, if you go to the innovative concept behind this candy, initially they pour the tangy taste inside that particular candy, clear. And due to that thing, it should be easily acceptable by any age group, whether it should be a child, whether it should be a young mouse, whether it should be a middle-aged people, or whether it should be old-age people. The next part is that for this success of this pulse candy, these two persons are responsible. One is your, just enlarge this one. The person, one that is known as, that is the chairman. First one is chairman, that is known as Rajiv Kumar. And another is the lead designer. In case of this name is, I just enlarge this one. This is Sasank Surana. He is the, you can say that he is the president of new product development. So these people are directly go to the market level, and initially these people have done so many type of market research, and they found that this particular candy should be can beat any level in case of demographical, in case of economic, in case of environmental, in case of any age group. So initially, they done some kind of SWOT analysis. So these are the SWOT analysis of pulse candy. First is the brand name of Pass Pass under the flagship of DS Group in case of strength, and they have strong home publicities and distribution network in case DS Group around 8,50,000 retail shops are there. And the next is the surprise element inside the candy that should be most acceptable by any age group. And the next part, last part is that is the unique taste and packagings. So these are the most important strength of your candy pulse. If you go to the opportunity point of view, increase the market penetrations by new innovative product, then tie up with restaurant and add more flavors. That is the opportunity, but the weakness is limited flavor in case of mango flavor, limited presence in case of market, and the most important parameter, that is the price or high price, that is rupees 1 rupees. And compared to the candies in the same segment like your Apple Label or from the brand of that is Pal Agros in case of Kacha. Then what are the threat? Other candy offering similar product, especially in case of Pal Agro has produced a charm, then price is very much lower side, that is 50 paisa. And consumer wanting new taste and experience, that is the threat. And cheaper candles and decrease the demand when the customer get use of this particular taste. So these are the SWOT analysis of pulse candy. Moving to the next part. So they have done so many type of analysis. In case of market analysis, with reference to social media in the year 2016, they found that the pulse candy has the total number of mention, that is 4050, but in case of Pal Agro, specially reference to Kacha Aam, they have 12, and in case of Hajmola, Hajmola, in case of they got total number of response starting from Twitter, Facebook, Insta, and other platform of social networks, they got around 1350 number of response. So that is the biggest reasons. Moving to the next part. So in case of you, the target market strategy, you know, they are focused on penetrating the market. So initially, the geographical segmentation, since Rajasthan, Gujarati, Kasinsa share similar tangy taste as a pulse, the company decided to test the market in this state first. So there are more number of localized brands there, especially in case of Rajasthan and Gujarati. And initially they are focused on some casinos. In that case, they are used to test the market. Then eventually the mass markets, they are using some mass market strategy, especially reference to raw mango are released by the people of all age group and geographic of India. As you know, it should be easily acceptable by any region of India. So there was no particular target group singly out for the pulse. And the next part is the candy with its tangy taste. If you cut the particular tangy, you can find the tangy taste and across all age group, and thus it become fully fledged lunch eventually. This is the strategy. And this is the famous tagline that is Pran Jaya par Pulse Na Jaya. That is due to this tagline, it is vastly acceptable in any race thing. Then, in case of packaging, with respect to packaging, if you go to the competitor levels, they have they have launches their product in case of 1 kilo jar. But if you go to the segment like Pulse, especially reference to DS group, they are used 5 kilo jars. Even they go for the higher segment like 10 kilo jars. So that means in that jars, they will provide a huge amount of discount or huge amount of incentive to the retailer house. So as you know, in around 5,80,000 retailer house is attached with DS group in various segment of product. So it is easy to focus this particular new brand for launching, and in case of by using Delphi method, they will success and sustain until that they are growing their revenue by launching this particular new product. Is it clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, moving to the next part. The next method is known as market survey methods. Clear? So in case of market survey method, if you go to the market search method, they have two type of actually research is done. The one is primary research, another is secondary research. So in case of primary research, basically include survey, focus group, the next is interview, and some part you have to go for observations, and in some part you go for field trial or experiment. But in case of secondary research, these are mostly done for collecting various type of data. There is no need of any kind of field trial or experiment. Moving to the next part, if you see the market search, basically we have libraries are there, government agency are there for providing various type of data. Trade association are there for providing various type of data. And in case of if you not found any or any you are not found or you are not able to find any kind of data, you directly go for group discussion through, or you can directly go for interview. And the last one is in case of survey, it should be done through by sending a particular team to that particular location for collecting various type of data. Moving to the next part, in case of market survey, first one is basically include survey. The next part is focus group, as I told. The third one is personal interview. The fourth one is observation, and the last one is field trial or experiment. We will discuss one by one. In case of survey, if you go to the survey point of view, it is the straightforward questionnaire. So during your SIP or who have done some short-term internship, they've already experienced those type of survey. That means in case of that survey, you directly provide some questionnaire to the number of respondent, and you can analyze a sample group that represent your target market. For example, in case of launching new vehicles, launching of new brand, launching of new product or product mix, in that case, to directly focus on this particular market, whether it should be in case of your age factor, whether it should be in case of education factor. Just imagine during COVID-19, so many number of multinational brand are came across to launch the different segment of sanitizers. So in that case, they directly focus no age group or no education parameter, because this pandemic is spread across the world. So initially they focus on to develop the different segment of sanitizer. Then after that directly go for sanitizer for your hand or body is different, and sanitizer of different. You can say it is more amount of sprinkler or devices should be introduced in that way. So basically, what happened in case of survey, in-person survey or one-on-one interview typically conduct in case of high traffic locations such as shopping malls. Then in case of survey should be done through telephonic calls, even if the survey should be done through mail survey, and in survey should be conducted through online in different, as you know, in case of social media, most of the company are doing their survey. For example, after receiving the goods from Flipkart side, immediately they directly send you a particular link, or in that particular link they will provide some rating factors. So if you pull the ratings in case of 4 rating or 5 rating, after that they will provide a particular comments. A comment box is there to provide more information regarding their particular product. So in that way, they can go for more amount of survey. Moving to the next part is focus group. So in case of focus group, a particular moderator uses a script series of question or topic to lead the discussion among the group of people. So in your group discussion segment, especially reference to your placement activities, a particular faculty member will act as a moderator and he provide a particular topic. So in that topic, most of the respondents are providing their valuable answer through the group discussions. So this session takes place at a neutral location, usually at facilities with video taping equipment and some observation room is there on the way of mirrors. Then next last part, their focus group usually last 1 or 2 hours and that it take least 3 group to get balance the result. That means most ratings things or most positive answers should be easily acceptable in that particular survey whenever you conclude this focus group. Moving to the next one, that is known as personal interview. So in case of personal interview, like focus group, personal interview include unstructured, open-ended questions, and they usually last for about usually about an hour or typically recorded. The focus group and personal interview provide more subjective data and then survey. So that is if you receive any calls or personal interview or one-to-one interview, in that case, you can directly interact with the potential customers. So whenever you go for face-to-face interview with respect to your personal interview, you can directly collect various type of data from that particular respondent. That is the concept of market survey. The next one is observations. These are individual person to survey and focus group are sometimes at odd with people's actual behaviors. These are basically used in case of the you can say that the consumer behaviors towards your product, how they react and what is their reaction regarding your quality, regarding your price strategy. That should be directly observed in case of market. The next is when you observe the consumer in action by videotaping them into store, at work, at home, you can observe how they buy or use your product. That is the most important parameter. And the last point is this gives you a more accurate picture of customer users, habit, and shopping patterns. So in that shopping pattern, as you know, if you visited some multinational shopping malls or retail outlet, in a frequent manner, they have to change the displays. That means they know the behavior of people. So during festivities, they know the behavior aspect of people during any holidays. So according to that things or any festivity, they have to arrange their product display to increase the percentage of sales. And the last one is field trial. The placing a new product in selected store to test the customer response under real life selling conditions can help you make product modification, adjust price or improve packagings. So as you know, in case of small business owner should try to establish rapport with local store owners and a website that can help them to test their particular product. A company like Just Dial or GoDaddy, they will provide the particular platform for small business owner to establish their rapport and local store owners as well as test their market or test their product in the market. So these are the things starting from the your observations. Then moving to the next part, if you compare between the qualitative market search and quantitative market search. So in case of qualitative market search, basically based on opinion and experience, but in case of quantitative, that is based on numbers. Similarly, if you go to second point, smaller sample basically include in case of qualitative market search and larger sample include in case of quantitative market search. In case of qualitative market search, they are focused, they are basically include interview and focus group. But in case of your online and postal survey, or that is telecallings or CATI surveys should be done. The next is known as your in-depth analysis done in case of qualitative market search. But in case of percentage of people agree with the statement should be included in case of quantitative market search. And the open-ended question should be included in case of qualitative market search. And in case of that is the most close questions should be included in case of your quantitative market search. Is it clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So next class we will go for another case studies with your historical analogy as well as market search, especially reference to some automotive industry, especially reference to some integrated manufacturing unit, and especially reference to some you can say that is some productivity unit with reference to your content of this particular subject. So that's all from my side. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, fine.